Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Spring Wu. As an Associate Vice President at Pactera Edge, a leading global digital and technology services provider, Spring Wu enables the digital transformation efforts of retail and CPG, logistics, travel, and hospitality, finance, and energy businesses. Having worked for several high-profile technology companies in mainland China, he is considered an expert in the Chinese market and the necessary steps U.S. companies must take to make inroads there. He has 17 years in digital enablement and transformation, marketing technology, cloud technology, China market, and program management. He is a graduate of the Air Force Radar Academy. Well, good afternoon, Spring. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. I appreciate you jumping on. And again, another podcast, we get to jump in and talk a little bit about, your background, obviously, but we get into some tech, which is amazing. And we've traversed the globe, 31 plus countries and a lot of time in Silicon Valley. So let's get started, Spring. You've got quite the background in tech, product design, DevOps. Now you're the Associate Vice President at Pactera Edge. Could you share with our audience what drives you and what has contributed to your success?
Absolutely. Well, during my career and learning journey, I consider that's a learning journey for me. I believe there being three elements matters the most. Number one, user empathy. Number two, technology. And number three, art. My ultimate goal is to make people live, learn, and grow better. Any of those three elements alone will not shine. And how to harmonize the three elements and reach a swirling effect becomes my key pursuits. I kind of started as an engineer in my old days and been through all different kind of roles as a business analyst, project manager, product owner, strategic consultant. In my early stage, I was so obsessed by technology. I believe that technology can change everything. Later, I realized that the end user matters the most. User empathy matters the most. You got to understand their language, their culture, and their way of thinking. Otherwise, whatever the new technology or new product will not get adopted. While I work with more big logos later, and art plays the most important role to make you outperform the competitors. That's the constant saying I have been seeing, right? The art is not born from intermittent tryouts. It's coming actually from continuous and rigorous test and learns. So in a nutshell, I would say stay closer to the users, learn from them, co-create product with them, engage with them, and discover new possibilities with them by using the emerging technology, which are becoming available.
That's awesome, Spring. I appreciate that. And you're absolutely right. I think just about everybody at some point on this show, this podcast, has talked about user empathy and understanding the user and how you can better help your fellow human. And that resonates throughout this podcast. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's really important. So Spring, we're going to talk about the pandemic, right? Hopefully we're going to get over this thing in the next few months. Maybe we'll see. But everybody globally, obviously, the last year has had to shift, adapt, and pivot. Could you share with us what you're doing to help your organization stay relevant in this economy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of work a lot with a lot of MNCs, which represent multinational corporations, to be successful in China. So that's the practice I'm leading. So that's actually gives me a lot of opportunities to understand and adopt our technologies on those new norms. And yes, we do see this new norm significantly impacting the entire society and customers. And our approach is to seek all the opportunities to stay connected with people, with end users, and try to address the challenge that we hear from them. So that's how we address that. As a human-centric and technology company, we learn from our employees, our customers, customers, and our partners. Identify their business challenges due to the change, apply some quick wins by using data and new technology. I am going to use one example that I have with one of my clients, which was impacted by COVID-19 last year. So consumers in China no longer go to brick and mortar stores. The brands had a hard time to continue the dialogue and engage with the consumers. They started to realize the importance of customer data. They thought they have tons of customer data. When we get into in front of them, they thought they have tons of data. However, all this data are cornered. They do not come together. Because of that, we hear the pain points that they're sending annoying communications between the users, and they're sending irrelevant products to their customers and so on. So all these miscommunications jeopardize the brand image and eventually cost customer churns, right? So by hearing that, one of our initiatives was conduct a design thinking exercise with our clients and start something small and see some quick wins. For example, WeChat as number one power platform in China, right? It covers entire customer journey marketing, including acquisition, nurturing, conversion, and referrals. We help them to launch a 2-month exercise to enable the marketing automation on WeChat. As you can see, that initial goal was pretty straightforward. Our goal is how to get the new followers on WeChat to initiate the first transaction, right? So we ended up by leveraging the customer data platform, customer engagement management, and marketing automation to manage the first 48 hours customer activation. So that's a 2-month of exercise, and we managed to improve the activation rate by more than 120%. So this kind of quick wins, right? So we help them to see the impact the right data can produce to the company. So in the meantime, we were able to reuse those custom data for future nurturing or upsell and cross-sell without extra cost. And this is a good example. This kind of a new normal leads to the brands to explore a new way of driving growth in the new era. So I think that's an example on top of my mind.
Great. I appreciate you sharing that, Spring. And you're absolutely right. And as a market as big as China, I know that's got to be some challenges there as well. But, this pandemic has forced, and there's other factors as well, has kind of forced people to, rethink their marketing, move to the virtual space online, and brick and mortar is essentially going to be put to the wayside, not completely, but how things are going now. So appreciate your share on that. And Spring, let's talk a little bit about tech. You're obviously leveraging some new and emerging tech in your tech stack, right? Is there anything that you might be able to share with us today that's, not confidential?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're living in a world where technology is open to everyone, right? So I can continue to use the previous example. So we did the WeChat and market automation for them last year. And because we have seen the success of the story, and we're working towards and exploring new technology, but for example, AI. So we're trying to leverage and train our existing AI models that we built in-house and apply their data and train by their using customer data to achieve a number of different goals. They're ranging from better targeting and advertisement optimization. So, for example, they spend tens of dollars on advertisement. Now we're trying to leverage our AI models to reduce the amount of investment and to achieve the same goal, right? Number two, how do we leverage AI engine that we have to determine the most righteous moment that the customer may need our product, right? So we will engage only at the right moment. And number three is how do we determine the most relevant product recommendation, right? Even before we're in the middle, we're post each transaction. So those are the few examples where we're using our AI models that we built today and try to help our customers to unleash some of the opportunities.
That's amazing. I love how, every guest I have on the show, I would say nearly every guest talks about something, might be in the same vein with the technology, but there's always something new coming out that has automated a process or made people's lives easier or converted consumers into a virtual space from a traditional, shopping center, for example. So I appreciate your share. And I'm excited just to continue to talk about this topic, but obviously we got to move on and go on to our last question, which, Spring, our audience wants to know a little bit more about you. So maybe you could share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or leadership.
Absolutely. I would say I'm learning along the way too. From my perspective, people come with a business mindset, staying curious and willing to step out of comfort zone. I think those I believe, are very high quality leaders should have. Because this is a fast-pacing world. Technology change all the time. There are things hard to change. For example, culture or the nature of people. So understand the needs from the people and the society, and spotting a business problem that others cannot see becomes precious. To me, technology is more like a toolbox. We shall always keep track of those tools which can address new opportunities. So as a leader, I think it's very critical to create such a culture to discover the new possibilities together with the users by using the emerging technologies. This is a simple but not easy. This means we always have to stay closer to the users, and we're always willing to adopt new technologies, test new things out, and learn from the failures. So those I would say for me and for my team members, I always encourage that drive the business mindset, stay curious, and willing to step out of comfort zone.
Great. Spring, I appreciate your share on that. And again, your message, your story, your journey will certainly resonate with somebody in our audience for sure. And again, those are some great insights. So thanks again, Spring. And it was a pleasure having you on today.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now.